plague do you know of? The what? The which? How about the cows? When the cattle died, the cattle plague, so you get to be that one. Some of these are more comfortable to wear than others. All right, who else? I'm going to start calling on adults if you don't send your kids up. Come on. Got just a few more, so come on up. What plague do you know of? The swarms of flies. Yeah, I'll let you put that one on. What plague do you know of? The firstborn, the last one, the firstborn, the death of the firstborn. That's one we haven't covered yet. What plague do you remember? The boils, the skin blisters and boils. I'll let you put that on. I want you to come on up too. Okay, there's 2 plagues left. The locust, you get to be, oh, there's 3 plagues left. You get to be the locust, you put that on. Which one do you know? The gnats. The gnats, or some versions call them lice. Go ahead and put those on. We need somebody to come on and be the plagues of hail. Or I'm going to have to call Tim up here. Antonio, come be the hail. Thanks. Come on up here. Okay, we're going to put them in order here. We start out with the blood, and then we have the frogs, and then we have the gnats or the lice, and then we have the flies. Would you come right around here? There. Okay. And then we have the cattle plagues, and we have the boils. That's all right. You can just hold it up. Sorry about that. And then we have, down one. Antonio, you're right here with the hail. Elise, you're right here with the locusts. Okay, now this isn't just to display cute kids in cute masks. I just want you to get this visual of what God was doing with the plagues. They weren't random. Even the structure and the way they happened was very intentional. I want you to notice that the first 2 plagues had to do with the Nile River. There were things coming up out of the river. God began the plagues with the water. The next 4 plagues had to do with the plagues going up from the water out onto the land. And they had to do with things that were involved with the land. The next 3 plagues, the last plague we leave, that one stands all by itself. But the next 3 plagues after that, the plagues went from the river to the land to the point where they started to rain down from the sky. Now what is God demonstrating even in that structure? He's speaking to a pantheistic culture that thinks that all of their environment is controlled by gods that they worship and that they can appease and control their environment. What's God showing them? When he starts out in the water from the river, he shows them, I'm in control of your source of security. I'm in control of everything that gives you life in Egypt. I am in control. Well, your gods who come up out of the river are not in any way in control. Your gods who you think control the river, they are totally impotent to give you the security that you need. And then God said, not only the river and your security, but the land. I'm in control of the land. You from your land, you get your crops, you get your cattle, you build your buildings from your bricks. You think that's your source of prosperity, and you worship all these false gods that you think will give you prosperity. And God says, I'm going to show you for these plagues on the land that I'm totally in control of that those gods that you worship are absolutely impotent. They can't provide your prosperity. And then from there, God moved to the sky, and he showed how, now I'm going to show you that everything that you thought protected you, everything that you thought protected you from the storms, everything that you thought protected you from from the hail, from the things that would rain down from the sky. I'm in control of those too. Those false gods that you worship, that you think control the weather, that you think bring the light, I'm in control of all those. They are totally impotent. God is showing us two things. He's showing us, I control all of the environment. I control all of Egypt. I control all of the rest of the world. That's true today, as true today as it was in Egypt. And he's showing whatever you raise up as false gods, whatever you look for security and for prosperity. By the way, we do those things in our culture. Maybe we don't identify them in terms of gods like they did or idols. But we put our faith in things that we think will make us secure, don't we? We put our faith, we put our confidence, we put our trust in things that we think will give us prosperity, don't we? And God shows all those things are impotent. If you look to anyone other than me through Christ for your security, for your prosperity, for your well-being, I'm going to show you how impotent ultimately that is, how powerless it is to give you. One last thing I want to show you before these kids go back to their seat is I want to show you the increasing intensity, which we're going to comment on today. Do you notice that the first couple plagues, they're kind of gross? You know, they're inconvenient, certainly. They're unpleasant. But what happens when we move into the next couple plagues? These plagues start to go beyond just being unpleasant, don't they? These plagues begin to cause pain when we think of the boils. These plagues begin to affect their financial well-being when their cattle start dying, when the hail wrecks their crops. You notice how the intensity is ramping up on the plagues? And then finally, as we come down to this last set, the plagues are actually potentially putting them in danger of their life. The plagues are filling them with fear and dread about the doom that is awaiting them. And that all culminates, we know, where we'll get in a couple weeks with the plague of the death of the firstborn. But you see the pattern all the way through, from the way God has organized them to the whole scope of the plagues that God has done, to the increasing intensity. All of that is part of God's very intentional way of showing them, I am the Lord. I am the Lord. Well, thank you very much, all of you. You can go back to your seats. You can even keep the masks. You can wear them the rest of the service if you want.